Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right, today I want to share my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection on 4K Ultra HD. This is a title that, to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on picking up until the November Barnes & Noble sale, but I decided to not wait on that. I decided this past week to just go ahead and swing by Barnes & Noble. They're now selling Criterion titles, I think on a regular basis at around 30% off, even on the off sale months. And so I said, let me just go ahead and swing in and pick up This Is Spinal Tap on 4K Ultra HD and this Digipack set here. And let me check out what the hubbub is about this film that I've never seen until this edition. So I've never seen Spinal Tap before. I've heard of it for many years, and I've seen the logo, but I had absolutely no idea what this film was about. And so I popped it in the player this past week to experience it for the first time and go through the supplements on this fantastic edition from Criterion. And so I wanted to come on here and share my thoughts on what I think about this film, having seen it for the first time. How does it look on 4K Ultra HD? This is a new 4K digital restoration, so how does it look? How does it sound? Being that this is a music mockumentary or rockumentary, so to speak, how does it sound on this 4K disc? How do the supplements work out in this edition? And overall, is this a title worth adding to your collection? So on the other side of this, we will talk about it. We're going to go all the way to 11. This is Spinal Tap. Let's go. All right, we're talking about This Is Spinal Tap, now out on 4K Ultra HD from the Criterion Collection in one of these beautiful digipacks. Folks, I am a huge fan of the Criterion digipacks, similar to the Arrow Video chunky box sets. Now, the digipacks are not quite as lavish as the Arrow Video chunky box sets, but I do like the digipacks from Criterion for editions like this, and I think it does this particular edition and film justice. Really, really nice package overall. So I am super excited to share my thoughts on This Is Spinal Tap. I'm very happy I went ahead and picked it up. Let's go ahead and get into my first slide. All right, so this is Spinal Tap. This is my cover, and this is my Criterion 4K review. All right, this film was directed by Rob Reiner of All in the Family fame. He was a meathead in All in the Family, who was a part of Archie Bunker's extended family. He was actually the son-in-law in All in the Family. He was the husband of Sally Struthers' character, who, of course, went up against Carol O'Connor in so many classic scenes in that classic comedy, All in the Family. He co-wrote this film with Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer. The faux documentary style in this movie was groundbreaking at the time, and it paved the way for TV shows like The Office and countless mockumentaries. The characters are David St. Hubbins, band member, played by Michael McKean, Nigel Tufnel, played by Christopher Guest, and Derek Smalls, played by Harry Shearer. And there are so many iconic scenes in this film, including Stonehenge, exploding drummers, goes to 11. And this film has a very strong cultural legacy. It entered into the U.S. National Film Registry. Rolling Stone named it one of the greatest comedies of all time. This is a very funny film. I like films that are this type of style, where it's cinema verite, it is a mockumentary, and I definitely enjoyed that. Now, let me take a moment to read the back of this case. It says here, Spinal Tap has come to be recognized as England's loudest and most punctual band in the legendary rockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, now beautifully restored. We'll talk about that beautiful restoration. Nigel Tufnel, Christopher Guest, David St. Hubbins, Michael McKean, and Derek Smalls, Harry Shearer embark on their final American tour with filmmaker Marty DeBurgi, Rob Reiner capturing all the mishaps, creative tensions, dwindling crowds, and ill-fated drummers. This Is Spinal Tap takes DeBurgi's brilliant verite style and turns it up to 11. So yeah, This Is Spinal Tap. This is a beautiful looking digipack. This is a very funny film. It is a film that puts you into this world of this make-believe band who is played brilliantly by these three actors. This film came out in 1984, so it's just over 40 years old. And these actors are still with us. In fact, there has been a revival, so to speak, that I'll share in here that just came out this year. So definitely check that out for those of you who are This Is Spinal Tap fans. You'll definitely want to check that out. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about, of course, this is the film background that we had just mentioned. Of course, you see here Rob Reiner, the director. You see the stars at the bottom there, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer. You see Rob Reiner as Meathead with Sally Struthers in All in the Family, and just great stuff there. I mean, for him to leave All in the Family and to go on to this great filmmaking career is definitely a fantastic thing in the feather of the cap of Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner got inspiration to do this mockumentary from films like The Last Waltz that was directed by Martin Scorsese. This is Martin Scorsese's documentary of the band who was giving their final performance, I believe, in San Francisco. I think it was in San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom on Thanksgiving 1976. So they asked Martin Scorsese to come in and film their last concert. And this is a fantastic looking concert, folks. It is amazing. It looks great on 4K. It looks good. It sounds great. It is a beautiful 4K disc, but it is shot with that cinematic style, cinema verite style. You have Martin Scorsese who is interviewing the band members. So you have interviews with Martin Scorsese talking to the band members in between different performances, very similar to the style that Rob Reiner applied to This Is Spinal Tap. So Rob Reiner was inspired by music documentaries such as The Last Waltz. In this case, it was Martin Scorsese interviewing and covering a real life band, the band, in their final performance in San Francisco, or the Maysles brothers with Gimme Shelter doing this wonderful documentary of the Rolling Stones in 1971 and 1970, and Mick Jagger in a performance, I believe, in Northern California. Was that Northern California? Yeah, well, actually, excuse me, San Francisco, Altamont Speedway. So in the same area, I just made that connection. Both of these films were filmed in the same area of Northern California, San Francisco, two amazing music documentaries that helped to inspire This Is Spinal Tap from Rob Reiner. So great inspiration from those films. Now, let's talk about the picture and the sound of this amazing film. So this is a new 4K restoration, Dolby Vision HDR. And I gotta tell you folks, this film looks really, really nice in the 4K format. What I really appreciated about this film is that it came out in 1984, so it's 40 years old. It is a film that is shot in this, again, cinema verite documentary type style. So it's supposed to have not completely rough look to it, but it's not supposed to look like the sharpest, cleanest, crystal clear type presentation in the world. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look a little bit gritty and more down to earth. And I have to say that the restoration does a beautiful job of cleaning up the film. So the film is beautifully cleaned up, beautifully restored. You have some nice detail and depth and clarity in the image. It looks very, very nice, but it retains that aged and vintage look. So it's not scrubbed or DNR'd to death to try to make it look like a modern film. It is restored in a way that respects the integrity of the way that this film is shot and the way this film is supposed to look. So I love it when restorers do a good job of restoring the film to the way it is intended to look, retaining that cinema verite documentary style edge to it, but it looking like a very beautifully restored, cleaned up film. There's no specks or dirt or anything. There's no nothing. It just looks great. The image is stable, it's clean. It just looks really, really nice, and it has that nice vintage 80s look. So I was very impressed with this 4K restoration. I have no idea how the DVD looked. I can imagine it did not look anywhere near the way this looks. It looks amazing on the 4K format. And as far as the sound, you have 5.1 DTS HD master audio on here, and it sounds fantastic with the musical performances of the band. Spinal Tap, the fake band, played by these funny actors in here. This is Spinal Tap. They sound great. I mean, the sound is fantastic, whether it's performances from the band or the dialogue in the film, the sequences where Rob Reiner, who is playing, he's playing the character, the interviewer, I forgot the name, the interviewer, Marty DeBurgi. So he's playing the interviewer in this film, doing the documentary, and you hear all of the dialogue between him and the band members and other people in this story very, very well. So I had no complaints about the video and audio. Video is top-notch. Audio is top-notch. This is a beautiful presentation from the Criterion Collection. Now, let's open up this actual package here. But as you open up this package, you'll see that on the inside, you have your 3 discs. You have a 4K disc and you have 2 Blu-ray discs. So the 4K disc has the film, the commentaries. The Blu-ray disc 1 has the film and the commentaries. And then you have Blu-ray disc 2, which has the special features. But check out this digipack here, folks. Check this out. Check out this wonderful artwork with the sound equipment and with this beautiful logo. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. And on the inside, you see the lightning there. This is a kick butt looking package. On the inside, you have This Is Spinal Tap, little staple booklet action going on. Wonderful. Derek Smalls, David Hubbins, and Nigel Tufnel. Fantastic. One of the loudest bands out there. You have the cast and credits here. You have a wonderful, wonderful essay called Stupid and Clever by Alex Papademos. Really good stuff. Super good stuff there. And of course, it's dated March 1984. Great stuff. So this film is actually just over 40 years old. This is Spinal Tap. Some great, great stuff there. But yeah, this picture looks absolutely amazing on the 4K format, folks. I was very pleased. I mean, it's just one of those films that I can imagine if I had been a longtime This Is Spinal Tap fan. I think for those of you who fall in that category, I think you'll be very pleased with this presentation. It stays true to the way this film's supposed to look. It is a beautiful restoration. As far as supplements, you have 3 audio commentaries on here, which is awesome. You have archival interview features and outtakes. You have excerpts from The Return of Spinal Tap, and you have Stupid and Clever essay by Alex Papademos. So a really nice list of special features in this presentation on that second Blu-ray disc that I think you will enjoy going through, including a wonderful interview, if I can get this back in here, a wonderful interview between, let's see the names here. Yeah, conversation between Reiner and actor Patton Oswalt. That is really, really good. And they basically go through the genesis of how this film was put together and the inspiration for it, which is great. You have some outtakes called The Cutting Room Floor, which is like 98 minutes of outtakes, which is fantastic. You have Spinal Tap, The Final Tour, excerpts from The Return of Spinal Tap from '92. And then you have interviews with the band from his 2009 Back from the Dead album. Of course, not a real album, but this is one of the fictional albums of the Spinal Tap band. Just fantastic stuff all the way around. And then, of course, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. So you'll see here, this is Christopher Guest with Jamie Lee Curtis at an appearance for Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. That was in theaters September the 12th. And of course, this was the long-awaited sequel to This Is Spinal Tap. And it was directed by Rob Reiner with the original trio, Guest, McKean, and Shearer back in action. It was released actually just a few days ago. So it arrived 41 years after the original cult classic. And the plot premise was that the band has splintered. Nigel runs a cheese and guitar shop. David hosts true crime podcasts, and Derek curates a glue museum. So, and then you have, star-studded cameos like Elton John, Paul McCartney, which is great. And it was budgeted at around $22 million. And, this is definitely something for those of you who are big fans of this film. I don't know if I fall in that category. This is a film I'm very happy to have in my collection. And I think this is a film that will grow on me over time, but we shall see. Whether or not I decide to see Spinal Tap 2, but for those of you who are big fans of Spinal Tap, that is definitely one that you'll want to check out. So yeah, those are my thoughts on This Is Spinal Tap. I mean, this is a really nice addition from the Criterion collection, a very nice digipack. I was happy to see this film for the first time. It is a cultural landmark type of a film from Rob Reiner, who of course I knew him from when he played in All in the Family, going up against Carol O'Connor's character, and them going back and forth with each other on a variety of topics. That's a show that I don't think would be able to be produced today, All in the Family. So it was a show of its time. And Rob Reiner was on that show. He played with Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton and Sally Struthers back in the day. And then a few years later got into filmmaking. He then, about a decade later, made This Is Spinal Tap, inspired by other music documentaries like these right here, as I mentioned before. And he's gone on to do a number of other amazing films. But yeah, This Is Spinal Tap is definitely one that I would recommend. And I definitely want to hear in the comment section below what you think about this movie. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think about it? What are some of your favorite films from Rob Reiner? And do you plan to see Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues? Let me know that in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Hope you have a great one. Peace.